Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Today we are doing a wonderful waterfall painting which is covered with the lovely lavender flowers. So I'm doing with the acrylic paint. I put all the paint here to show you. Even you can change the color, doesn't matter. But the base is bluey and the stone are brown, but the flowers, the lavender most of the time is purple. But if you would like to change the flowers or everything, it's your choice. You can do that. But the acrylic paint that we have are here for the base, and for the background we need the waterfall to show, and the water is all these three blue color. It's a dark color which is what's this, it's ultramarine blue, cerulean blue or brilliant blue, and then white. So we mix all together and make the beautiful waterfall. And then the stone or rock come on top, and then the branches and the leaves here with the green, and the flowers. So you know that with any color we would like to make it lighter, we are going to add white color, and any color we would like to make it darker, black and brown can work. These are about the material list of the colors. So the other things that we need is the brushes. The brushes can be flat like that, the tip is totally flat, can be filbert, round shape, and that's a pointy round brush. For splash water is nice to do with this curvy one, but for the rest we can go with the flat one. So we work during the time with all these brushes, so I will show you how you can make your painting more interesting with the brushes that you have already. We have many more shape of the brushes, like angle brush, fan brush, and different kind. But I'm most of the time comfortable to work with this kind of shape of the brushes. And I am going to use a palette knife to mix my paint, which is so easier for the bunch of big amount of paint. And then the other things that I really feel happy to have it is the white paper, which is palette paper. So I'm going to work this palette with the top of this palette paper. It's easier because one paper sheet, after I finish the painting, put in a garbage. But you can have a plastic plate, you can have even the wood surface. I don't recommend a lot because the wood surface, it's stick on it, so it's a little bit challenging to clean it after that. And now what other things we need? The surface. So it's a masonite board, and it's a wood dark one. If you're not comfortable on the color, you can add a gesso on it and make it white, but I'm okay to jump on top of this surface and the color to do drawing and start painting. But you can work on any kind of surface you would like a canvas, gallery, standard, board, panel, and even the wood, anything you like. This is a board, so it's very teeny tiny on the edge. So these are the material I'm going to use. We need clean water, and we need rag or napkin to clean our brushes. So when you have everything around, let's start putting the paint on palette paper and start our painting. Okay, so for next part, I'm going to start from the anything that I see further. So what we see further, which is the waterfall. I'm going to mix a little bit light blue color, even it's light, but I would mix it with white to make it lighter. You can do premix here on your palette, or you can do right away on your surface. It depends. Some detailish painting I don't recommend, but for the big part, for some part, it's okay. Depend on the technique that you work. So this is about that. And now I would mix, because I would have the tone of different kind of blue. I would mix the ultramarine blue and the cerulean blue together as well. We have the pure colors, pure paint, and we need to mix them together to make it another wonderful color. So, and the edge, both side of our Waterfall, it's darker. So let me just clean my palette knife. For that part, I'm going to bring this dark color, which is blue dark blue, and then black, a little bit brown, because brown is warmer, black is cooler. So I'm going to mix with the blue. This is too dark, but I'm going to use this, and then move on here. So let me clean my palette knife. Every time you um, make the color with any kind of things, like with a palette knife or with a brush, it's better to make it clean, because acrylic has glue inside, stick to your surface. So first of all, I'm not seeing any water splash. I try to just, with the white, separate the waterfall from this part of the river. So I'm going to draw just a line. If your canvas is white, you don't need to go with the white because it doesn't visible. So you can go with the blue, but I'm going to do with the white. And on center, it's a light blue color. I just go from top to bottom, adding light blue color. And it's always nice to start with the lighter tone for this kind of technique, darker tone. So it's a little bit wider. I'm going with the light tone, because I know when I'm going to add the dark tone, it's push them inside. Even right away, when it's wet, it's a good time to add the white color and let it mix together. It's almost look like the waterfall. It's this water coming down. So because it's wet, when you bring the pure white color on it, it moves very nice and gently. That shows it's a waterfall. You don't need to wait get completely dry. You can do it right away. Okay, I think I need more white. Okay, so again, a little more premix together. The difference between the wet surface and the canvas is, I feel sometimes on top of the wood, the paint dry faster. So when you're working with it, you need to. I'm not telling that you need to be really fast, because it's bothering sometimes. You need to know when you make the surface like here wet. If you like to finish it, you can do it right away. You don't need to wait. If I leave this side, so I'm sure that it's get dry. So again, I can make it wet. And now I move on here. I'm going with this pure paint with the turquoise blue, because gradually I would make it darker. I'm not doing from very light color jump to very dark color. I would make it the nice transition, and then move on this a little bit. We see this lovely transition, and again on top, back and forth with light color. And here again, pure um, ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue, sorry, ultramarine blue. I have napkin to clean my brush, and then now I'm moving to very dark color. Back and forth until you feel happy with. Still, I'm not happy with, because I would be a little warmer in the color, so I would bring some more brown and then blue. Try to come a little bit toward the center. On the way, I can touch a little lighter blue too, because the waterfall fall is coming from everywhere. And now you see in between black and blue mixed together, and it shows look like the real waterfall. So this side is dry. I'm not worried about that. So I can start from exactly the left side with the darker tone that I already um, need to start. And then gradually move on with a little blue, more blue, this mixture. I don't want to have the separation lines, so I try to blend them as much as I can when I'm going to um, coming toward the center. Okay, like this. A little, the center is dry. No, it's a good time to add a dry brush stroke with the white color on top. Okay, so I think we are fine. We're okay with that. We can leave it be like that. Okay, now we are done with waterfall. I'm going to start this part of the river. I know it's covered with the stone rock and the water splash or something, but I don't worry about those. I just try to make it a little bit flat blue color. You can start with any of blue you like, but most of the time we would like to show the lighter tone is on the center. So I'm going with just a pure ultramarine. Sorry, no, it's um, cerulean. Cerulean blue. Try to make it really thick with more amount of paint. At the same time, it's nice to have the white color to let them blend into each other and shows more natural way of the water. And then I'm going to use this mixture of light and dark blue, mixture more with the darker tone. I'm sure this part is covered with lots of darker stone, sorry. So I'm not worried about the lightness even sometimes. Because the white color is too strong. When you have it in your brush, it's hard to get rid of it. So make the any part is a little lighter than usual. So I think for the base is fine. Yeah, for the base is fine. If we need to make it a little darker anytime, we can do that. So okay, now we finish with the waterfall. We finish for this part of the lake or yeah, lake. I would show a little bit water splash. I'm doing with this filbert brush, dry brush stroke. So I'm going to add a little white color. It's already mixed with the light blue color, would be okay like that. And very gently, I try to add um, I'm not touching hardly. I just try to be really slow and gently and touching the surface a little more. A little more, maybe mix with more blue for the side. Oh no, I don't like the blue to mix with a lot. Okay, so it looks like that it's dry brush stroke. So it's better the surface, especially the underpainting, be completely dry, and then add this dry brush stroke on top. Because when they mix together, sometimes it not give us a nice blending, nice surface on me. And then when you're coming here, you can just spread with the liney part, come down. I'm not finishing all on both sides because I would cover with the rock. And now I'm going to add a little bit like a wave. So the tip of brush is more useful now. Straight to the canvas, do nice and gently line. It can be a broken line, doesn't need to be really flat, straight line. It can be up and down, or even you can use darker tone as well. Very gently start adding the broken line. For this part, it's better to be dry as well. I mean, dry is the base. And then you can just adding some more waterfall if you like. If it's not much, you can add more with the tip of brush. More straight, randomly. I'm not doing very liney. Try my best not to be. Okay, that's perfect, I think. It's fine. So we can leave it. Okay, so we are close to rock time. We finished everything for the waterfall and the river water splash. Now it's a rock time to add. So we have black, we have brown. I would mix them together to make, because the brown I have, it's not really dark. It's raw umber, raw sienna. Sorry, no, burnt sienna. It's a burnt sienna. It's not much dark. So I would make it darker with the black, and I would make a creamy tone with white. So if I add the white in it, it gives me like a creamy light color that I needed for the light part. So these three colors are perfect for my rock. So I start um, with the dark tone. I'm going to add this drawing with dark tone. Imagine my rock starts from here, do like that. You can just use the broken line, hard line, just try to shape your rock as much as you like with a hard line. Doesn't need to be curvy because it's a rock, so it can be even heavy and so hard. You can start another here on top. I'm not doing the light tone right now. I just try to draw the shape, the whole shape first, and then I'm going to add more details on it. A little drop of water if it's sticky, so would be helpful. Tiny rock here. And even I'm going to add one hard line here too as a smaller rock. But it's nice to have one rock here. It's your choice, it's your design. You can cancel it if you don't like it. And one teeny tiny I like to have here. And for this section of my rock, I'm not really bothering myself to be so smooth. You can be really thick because the rock are heavy. It's not really smooth. Let me add more brown. More brown and black we can mix. I'm okay with this side of the painting. I move on the other side. And even I'm going really thick with heavy line, and I would show this hardness. But wait until we are doing the light section. And that help us to separate all this rock from each other, and that would be really interesting. And if you pay attention, I'm not adding a curvy block. I try to make it really hard to show that's the hard edge of the rock. So this is too dark. So I'm going to add, let me clean it. I'm going to add the brown a little more in some part because I would have the mid-tone and the dark tone. So just separate with the mid-tone, and we are knowing that this is dry. Oh no, sorry, it's not dry, it's wet. Sometimes they mix together would be okay, sometimes no. So be careful. When you don't want to mix them together, please let it dry completely and then add on top. But you can have other way to let them not mix together a lot. You can go with really thick and heavy paint and just let it go. Or even some section, we can go really light, not everywhere, but it's nice to have very, very light color on top as well. It's a shine part. Okay, and on the other side, and you see randomly I add some lightness somewhere, and that helped me to make it more like a teeny tiny rock on top of each other that cover this part. You don't need to always have a big stone. You can have a smaller one too. And we have the shadow part, which is that dark side. We don't need to make ourselves worry about it. So just the light part would be great to add and make the painting busy with the light and more stone. Okay, would be okay. So I leave it be like that, which is nice. Okay, we are happy with the rock and this little stone. Now it's time for adding the branches on top. So I'm going to do it with this flat brush, which is easier. I'm not happy to do it with a round brush. Some artists like it, but I feel when I'm doing with actually round brush, my line get a little thicker than usual. But some really happy with that. Go the way that you feel happy more. So I'm going to make it really liney with this. You see, I'm not doing like this, spread the hair everywhere. I try to make the hair of the brush be really narrow like that. It looks like a line. It's really liney. And then I try to be straight on top of the canvas. So I'm going to draw like a broken line like that anywhere I like to draw the branches. So it can be a little dark, it can be light, like a broken. You can design it anywhere you like. Thicker, narrow, or with the pressure of my hand, it can be a little thick. Okay, try to do like this. Even I can add a branch like falling down, a little thicker on here. You can go with the lighter tone to show this part of my tree. And don't worry about the thickness of your branch. You can cover it with the flowers. So there's always an option. I would love to go with a thicker line, maybe more brown. More brown mixed with black for this part. I would go with a little bit more heavy paint. That would be help me to shape this part of the tree trunk a little bit with thickness. And I can come with some light tone, which is a little nice to have a shadow and light on my even the edge of branch. You don't have to cover all the part, but some part is fine. And that's it, not more than that. So move on the other side. We can start from bottom or top. You see here is a little thick, so I'm not worried about it. I'm going to add so many flowers on top. Try to be a little broken in some case of my branch, which is nice. Oh, it's happening that getting thick. Okay, I cover a lot with the branch. I think I'm okay with it. I don't need to cover it more than this. A little bit thicker on this part, and then that's it. Okay, great. We are happy with the branches. Okay, so we are close to our fun part of our painting, which is the flowers, leaves, and the branches. So branches is finished. So a little bit leaves and most flowers. I have this lovely purple. It looks like a lavender actually, but I would make it light and dark, a little shadows for some part. This is a reddish purpley because my red was a lot. So I can make it darker with turquoise Sorry, not with the turquoise, with ultramarine blue. Just a bit with it, not much. So I'm going to take this blue. It gives me bluey purple. You see that? If you add more red, your purple is more reddish. If you add more blue, it's moving to more bluey. So I'm happy with that. Maybe red a little bit for some part, which is nice. Okay, and we have the light. We have the light color. We don't need it. And I'm going to add all these with the tiny brush. It's really small. The number I don't know exactly, I cannot see. And then take heavy paint like this and randomly spread everywhere. You don't need to be worried about. Just spread everywhere with the touch like that. And then you can see you're happy with the colors, or you would like to change it with a little reddish color. You can do it right away on top of your canvas. You don't need to come on top of each branch. You can just spread to the air the bunch of flowers. I'm going to do it more darker tone now, and then I'm going to add more light on top. It's like a dot. But make sure if you add some red somewhere, it's better to do everywhere. We need to have a balance in our painting. You can cover the other side. So make sure if you're going with a thick paint, be careful, not touch it fast because it's still take time to dry. It depends how much thickness you add. You can see I cover all this thick branch. Try to hide it under the flowers. At the same time, you can come with lighter purple. Okay, so I try to cover it as much as I can, but we can even spread falling some actually petals that come down on a tree from the tree to the river. So it can be like that too, which is so cute. A little red would be nice to have to make the painting warm. It depends if you like to make it really busy or not. You don't have to if you don't like to make it busy. I think it's okay. It's fine. We don't need to do more than this. A little green, it's okay to add as some bushes here, and then we can call our beautiful landscape painting is done. Great. Okay, so for the green part, because I would have some warm color, I take my green, it's a sap green, it's a little light, so I make it darker with teeny tiny brown. With the tip of brush, I try to add some like a green grass on top of this, or even in between the rock, or some part of the rock. You see that cover with the green color? I'm not making busy with that, but some case is a little nice to have just a warm color of green in nature. Even on top of the rock is good to have it. Some close to the trees, you can have it. And yeah, we are okay to leave it. Just the things which is left, I would go with a little dark tone for, I don't want to forget to do this. What we call wave. A little dark blue I make under the rock. Randomly, I would go with just a little dark color of the shadow. I don't want to show that between the rock and the water is just separate part. A little nice to have like a wavy dark tone close to the rock, not to the center. And that's it. Yep, we can call our beautiful painting is okay and done. Yeah, I hope you enjoy it. It was a nice, enjoyable landscape painting. Hope you enjoy it and hope to see you for next wonderful painting together.